Because I don't know what I'm doing, that's why. But I'm trying. Welcome back to the Montana Garage. In this video, we're gonna clean some stuff, paint some stuff, maybe fix this disaster, and think about what we gotta do to get that body back on the frame. I'm gonna start by seeing if I can get these headers cleaned up a little bit. They're in pretty sad shape, and I'd probably be better off to just, you know, grab some new ones, but just trying to save a few bucks here and there where I can. So if I can make these work, make them look decent, we're gonna go with that route. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time on them. If I get to grinding and scraping and sanding and I find some more holes or I just don't think they're gonna work, then we'll come up with a plan. But I think I can make them work. So let's get some different tools out and we'll just see how good we can get them. Here goes. Took me about 3 seconds of grinding on there to realize I need a mask on. That rust is flying off of there like crazy. Put a pretty big dent in the progress with these wire wheels and whatnot, but batteries are dead. While I'm waiting for charging, I guess I'll do some hand sanding and see how far we got to go. After spending way too much time getting these cleaned up, or getting just been working on one, it's mostly clean. I mean, it's just a header, so chances are the paint's all gonna burn off anyways, but I'm trying to do the best I can. Anyways, I spent a bunch of time cleaning it, and then as I was flipping it around, sanding and stuff, I noticed, probably too late, I don't know how to show you guys, this flange is busted off of there. See the gap there? So now we got to try to weld that back onto there, and this is the same header that welded really weird because the metal's really weird, but I cleaned that up and at least it looks like metal there. This little flange is pretty thin, so can that be welded back on there? I'm sure it can. Can I weld it back on there? I guess we're gonna find out. I think I got it melted back on there. Not too bad. I'm gonna just try to, it's still kind of hot, but I'm gonna try to flatten it out a little bit, and then by golly, I think I fixed it again. A little bit of grindy later, and I think it's gonna work. Hopefully this is still mostly flat, and it's glued back on there, so we're not gonna get an exhaust leak between here, where I would have been getting one before, so I'll have to double check that on the other header. Like I said, I have it mostly cleaned off. I think I'm gonna hit this with this, I've never used this stuff before. Osfo, stops rust, prepares rusted surfaces for painting. I got this because that SPI epoxy I use, if there is any rust treatment, that's the only one they will let you use underneath it. Anyways, I'm gonna do a little piece of that and then just see what that does, if it'll kind of give us a little cleaner surface. Like I said, these are headers and chances are the paint's just gonna burn off them anyways. They'll look good for a couple pictures and then they'll be rusty again, but we'll do the best we can. All right, it's the next day and it's freaking cold in here, and I don't know if I should be doing this or not, but I'm putting this Osfo stuff on here. I don't know, because these are, obviously they're gonna get hot, so I don't know if this is gonna be Doesn't say anything about high temperature, but this is just supposed to neutralize the rust. Figured it was worth a try. So we'll get this one spread, then it's got to sit, and then I'll go find the, you can't even see me. I'll go find the other header, and we'll get it all cleaned up. And then beans, I'm spreading this crap on there. It says it's got to sit overnight, or 24 hours, so we'll hopefully get them ready and spray them tomorrow. Suppose this stuff is going to leave marks on my concrete, huh? Oh well, that'll go good with the paint on the concrete. Kind of sticky. All right, I'm going to flip it over and keep going with that. So we're over here at the chassis and engine. I got to take this other header back off here so I can get it cleaned up. I did find out it does hit the motor mount bolt right there, so I got to mark that so we can put another little bash, or what did they say we're supposed to call it? I don't remember. I'm going to bash the header again right there. And then I got to get this stuff out of the way so I can get the header out of here. I'm going to take this off and clean it up and paint it as well. I am just going to reshape, do a little more reshaping on this little bracket. I'm going to bring it down a little bit right here so it kind of matches the front. I don't know why, just because. And then I might be able to take a little bit more angle out of that just to make it a little smaller in there. Again, I don't know why, just because. And then we'll paint all this stuff up too. I may have to get this this clutch fork designed just for, like, you know, it doesn't slot in there, just it's like a press fit and then the spring holds it. So I either need to get something different, or I think what I'll do is I'll just grind this tit off of here and kind of round the end of this and see if it looks like that's gonna work. I mean, it almost really would work like that, but it doesn't seat all the way back in there. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff we're working on next. Got these giant badass tires in the way. I probably should do something with those someday. They go on there. The other ones are like everything else from the 70s. So like I said, I'm going to reshape this bracket a little bit. I don't know why, just because I like doing things that are already done and take extra time. And plus I got my new grinder hood in the mail today, so I got to grind something so I can check it out. I think it's pretty cool. Covers up a lot of the ugly on me. It's got room for respirator and hearing protection. So I don't know, we'll see how it works. I better get some gloves on. That's going to keep torque right on the old hands. All right, there we go. Literally no one is ever gonna see this bracket, but I took 10 minutes to try to make it look a little nicer anyways. They're probably gonna be wondering, instead of looking at this, they're gonna be like, why has this firewall got so much orange peel in it? Because I don't know what I'm doing, that's why, but I'm trying. All right, so I'm just going through, I was taking this clutch linkage stuff off the frame over there because I was gonna get it painted up, but stuff's a little worn out. This is, I call it the Z-bar. I don't know if there's a technical term for it, clutch cross shaft or clutch bell crank, but that hole's supposed to be round. So let's see, here's what goes in this hole. This hole goes down in the engine, and this goes in here, and this is what actually pushes the throat or the clutch fork. But so that shaft or whatever that sticks in there, you can see where that was just over years, that just wore itself a new groove. And then this part goes in here, that's a little worn out, I could probably deal with that. But then this is the rod that goes from your actual clutch pedal down to the Z-bar, through the firewall down to the Z-bar. So this part hooks onto the clutch pedal inside. Look at that bad boy, almost gone. So when I first noticed this part, I thought, well, maybe I can just weld that shut and then drill a new hole in it. And then when I saw that, again, a guy could probably just weld something on there. But a good buddy of mine from the Tri-5 Mob just replaced all this stuff and switched to a hydraulic, one of those Malwood hydraulic clutch setups. So I think I might be able to score his stuff. So if that works out, thanks so much, Craig. And after some distractions, I'm back out here in the Montana garage. Here's my headers before. And this one's after scrubby, and then putting that OSFO on it. It's only been a couple hours, they're dry. It says I gotta wait 24 hours to spray them, but yeah, they cleaned up pretty decent. And then I guess that OSFO, like I said, supposed to like neutralize that rust so the paint will stick. We'll find out. Like I said, their headers are gonna get hot. They'll probably look good for a couple pictures until I start driving the thing and all the paint burns off anyways. All right, we're gonna finally get to scrubbing on this one. Product update on the Benchmark Abrasives grinder hood. So I got my mask on, and you can wear a respirator in here and that'd be better, but I just have a mask. Yesterday when I was doing this, I had a mask and then safety glasses, but the mask makes safety glasses fog up, so you gotta kind of pick one or the other. But with this, no foggage, so that's cool. I can see and breathe a little bit. Back to work. So we're done messing with the headers for a little while. This is the cross shaft for the steering and the pitman arm. So there's just, I don't know any technical names for all this stuff. I don't know anything about it. I just read somewhere that a guy should every once in a while take this out of here and clean it up. So the pitman arm fits in this bad boy somehow. And then it's like a spring and then a little round cup on that side. It's all covered in grease, slides up and comes out of there. So as far as I know, it's all good, as far as I know. So I'm just gonna clean it up and put new grease in it, stick her back together. So we got the spring thingy and the little piece. That was all covered in grease. Pitman arm, little pitman arm cover, and then there's like a little rubber seal there. All seems like it's in pretty good working order still. So there is a grease zerk on here, but I'm just gonna throw some grease in here as I put it together. And once it's all together, I'll squeeze a little more in there with the grease zerk to make sure it's all filled up, and hopefully that'll be good to go. And then we'll finish cleaning up this, I think it's called the steering cross shaft, because that's one thing that's gonna get painted when I do the header. Well, I finally found a use for my giant ass screwdriver. I don't think that's the right tool for the job. I think the right tool for the job is actually one of these little sockets like this. But I don't know if that one's broken or if that's for something else. Fits in there, but it only was grabbing on these 2 points. So I went with the big ass screwdriver instead. Seemed to work. So I think I got that re-greased. I gotta go ungrease my hands now, because if I was smart I would have put some gloves on, but I didn't, and I'm trying to work with stuff I'm planning on painting. So I'm gonna clean up all this grease crap, go wash my hands real good, and then come up with a plan on what to do next. All right, I've been doing some scraping and some cleaning. We got steering shaft, clutch, homemade bracket, and steering box all cleaned up and ready to paint. Throw a layer of self-etch primer on them, and then some chassis black. Call it good. Time to paint it black. All right, we'll come out in a few and do another coat, and then we'll figure out what's next. Next day, back out in the Montana garage. Got the headers hanging, ready to go. They've had close to 24 hours to sit since I put the rust converter on them. I warmed them up a little bit, hit them with some wax and grease remover, and they've been hanging for 15 or so minutes after that. They look all dried off and ready to go. They look a heck of a lot better than they did when I started, so hopefully they're going to turn out all right. I think I have all the little welding I need to have done on them. The other header you saw me weld on this one, I think I had to weld this flange back on. The other one that had already been done to, so should be good to go there. We'll get some paint on them. The stuff I painted yesterday is all dry, except for the steering box was dry, but the way I had it sitting on here, there was just kind of this edge. I thought I was getting it all, but I wasn't getting that edge. I went to put it on the frame and there was a spot that wasn't painted, so I just hit that. That's drying. So paint the headers. We'll get that put back on the car. I don't know that we'll get the headers put on the car today. They'll have to dry, obviously, so maybe by the end of the day. And then also want to get this paint booth picked up or rolled up and organize some stuff back how it goes so we can think about moving forward. Again, painting something that has 8 million different angles. It's hard to figure out how to get them all. Do the best you can. Try to be somewhat systematic. All right, looks like we got at least a little bit on everything. Most things, anyways. All right, I think again we got most of something looking gray colored. All right, we'll let that sit for a couple minutes. I'll put another coat on probably, and I'll bring you guys back when I'm painting it black. Well, that's unfortunate. This is a brand new can of header paint. About 2 squirts in, she gave up the ghost on me. See if I can get the tip cleaned off or something. Don't want to come off of there. Yeah, we got, oh, there we go again. Try again, I guess. All right, I got the first coat in. That spray gun nozzle is screwed up. It started acting funny again. I think I got it working again, but it's squirting kind of funny, but I'm gonna try to see how it works to get the second coat on here in a second. Update time. I've been dinking around for a couple hours, trying to get some small stuff done, but mostly been striking out. Let's see, I went and got a little freeze plug for this hole. This is where the oil draft tube was, and that measures 1 1/4 with my caliper, and that's a 1 1/4, but it goes in there way too easy. It's a little loose. So I went back. Of course, they don't have a 1 5/16, so I have like a 1 22/64. So anyways, it's like a 30-second bigger. I figured that's better than this one, but they didn't have it, so I gotta wait for that to show up. You know, a drain plug or a freeze plug didn't go right there. There was like that road draft tube for the PCV system on these older blocks that didn't have PCVs in the valve covers. If you watched an earlier video, you know there's a bolt in there that snapped off on me. Rather than mess around with all that, I'm just plugging it and I'll run PCVs in the valve cover. I did that. I went and got a new drain plug. 2 reasons. The one that came in this, that's in this Moroso chrome oil pan, the gasket part's all screwed up. And it's such a thin-headed bolt, I can barely get a wrench on it. Once the gasket, I ripped the gasket off there because it was like a big, heavy plastic gasket, and you can see where it was leaking. I couldn't get it tight enough. But they gave me a 1/2 by 20, what it's supposed to be. This is like a 1 size over. What's it say? Yeah, single oversized. And it has like a self-tapping head. So that's like if your threads are screwed up, that'll like repair it. So maybe I could jam it in there, but my threads aren't screwed up, so I don't want to screw them up trying to mess with that. So I'll wait and find another oil pan drain plug. Plus I wanted one. This one has a magnetic tip. If you guys have been around a while, you know I may or may not still have a little washer inside this engine somewhere that I couldn't find. Hopefully not, but anyways, I'm gonna get that magnetic tipped drain plug in there and then create some oil pressure with spinning the oil pump with the drill and see if it happens to flush out. Probably not. So I tried to do that, struck out there. So let's see, we got our headers. I should probably be a little more patient, but they've been drying for a couple hours. If I touch up here where it doesn't matter, they're dry. I probably should wait a little bit longer, but I'll put some gloves on so I don't get my oily fingerprints on them. And I'm gonna try to install the headers now. This should be pretty easy really, but we'll see if I can manage to make it hard like everything else. The only problem is I gotta be careful now. I was just dragging them on the floor before. Hopefully I got it up high enough. up in here. There we go. Shoot, I guess if I would have been smart, I would have opened those, but I got an old one here. Let's get it started. And start out the gasket, I guess. Alright, I wasn't smart enough to open my bolts. I bought some new bolts. So we got some new bolts and some Felpro header gaskets. I think I've seen some people put goo on these things. I usually just put them on. Try to anyways. Let's strike out on the header bolts too. Look right. I tell you, it's been one of those days. They sure look right. What do I want to do in there? I think they're the same length I had. Should be long enough to get started in there. Well, why doesn't it want to cooperate now? Headers are a pain. Even with nothing in the way, they're hard to get all these bolts going and stuff. I don't know what the dealio is with that one. That don't seem promising. It's like it's stripped out. Oh, I would have had a weird bracket right there for my alternator. But let me find a longer bolt. So I found a little longer bolt and it would grab in there, but then I think it was too long. Let me just suck this all up and then see if the shorter one will still work. I think just the first few threads are screwed up and this one doesn't want to cooperate either. Huh. There's the here. More struggle. Well, as usual, nothing can be easy. I gotta run a tap in this one hole. Wouldn't let me start a bolt in there. YouTube comments. Thanks, guys. Well, see if that cleaned her up enough to get something going in there. Alright, starts easy enough like that, and then the next one, might as well do this one too. It's stripped out at the beginning. Pretty good, it looks like. But we got threads once we get back in there. Alright, attempt number 2. Has there been anything I haven't attempted at least twice? I don't think there has. Sure doesn't seem like it. That can't go like that. Gas on. And that guy's in there. Oops, it didn't start it very good. This one we're having trouble with real easily. Alright, thanks. That one goes right in. Hopefully that one goes right in. Alright, found a couple longer ones when I was digging around for the tap. Go in our pocket. Alright, here's one a little bit longer, just to get her sucked on there. For now, I'll have to redo this. Alright, you don't need to watch me tighten bolts up. I'll be back. Guess I'll try to throw this guy back on here too. It's gonna have to come back off because I'm getting a new Z-bar right there. We'll put her on. I think I have to have the header kind of loose to do this anyways. Get it started. So let's get this. And then I'll get to do this again too, so that'll be twice for this. Gotta redo the Z-bar thing. Oh well. This way I'm not gonna lose anything or something. Pull that back just a hair, just enough to get this started, hopefully. I think it's threading in there. Those are what, 3/4? The other one. I tell you, everything is fighting today. Yeah, bash the header far enough. Alright, now we're back to tightening bolts. Here we have one header installed, steering box painted back in, clutch bracket painted back in. I also threw the harmonic balancer on. So I'll go ahead and throw this other header on. Even though there's a chance I'll have to take it off too. I used to have to put the starter and the header kind of on together, I'm pretty sure. Either that or the starter first. I think I can get the starter up in there. But that was with a full-size regular starter. I'm gonna get one of the mini starters. I sent that one I had back, so I gotta get another one of those coming. But I'll go ahead and put the header on. I may or may not have to take it off to deal with the starter. Second header's on. I should have filmed myself doing that one. I would look like a genius. I just had to do it once for a change. I think I'll have enough room to wiggle one of them little starters in there. If not, take a couple header bolts loose and we'll get her in there. So I'm kind of done messing around with this for now. I cleaned up a bunch of crap I had laying up here, but not my old man glasses. Get them out of there. I don't really know where I'm going from here. I know I should try to run some brake lines and a fuel line, but the problem with that is, I mean, I don't have a starting point. I don't have a master cylinder right here. I don't have a fuel tank back there. And I really don't have all the stuff to do that anyways right now. So I'm probably going to go ahead and throw the body on just like it is, and I'll have to do that stuff from underneath. And I know it'd be easier to do it now, but if I can get the body back on the frame, it just gives me more room for activities in here and just feel like I accomplished something. Now, I'm not going to get that done today for sure, but next thing we're going to do is mess around with trying to get the paint booth rolled back up. So I got to do a little repair work. I had the plastic just stapled to this PVC pipe so I could roll it up. And as you can see, it kind of came undone. The staples, I was using my air stapler and it was just kind of breaking it out. It didn't work that great. I'm going to try to just duct tape that back together. I just got a rag and wiped all the dust off of both of those pieces. Hopefully a little tape will stick on there, and then I'll get Trey to come out here and help me roll this stuff back up. I don't know if that'll work, but it can't hurt, right? All right, paint booth has been disengaged, rolled the plastic back up. Now I just have to clean up this disaster, bunch of overspray on the floor that'll get cleaned up. You know what that means. I got to get the old Montana garage hand broom out and sweep this place on my hands and knees, at least some of it. You guys don't need to watch that though, you've seen that before. So I'm gonna get everything cleaned up and start thinking about what I'm gonna do. How's the best way to get this thing back on the frame? So last time I hung her from the rafters, but now I have plastic in the way. What I didn't have before that I have now is I have an engine hoist. So I'm thinking I can use that. That's it for this video. Watch one of these two videos while you're waiting for the next one to come along, and don't miss the next one because that is going back on there. Hopefully.